Yeah, very good morning. Welcome back. So today, yesterday we discussed the Python programming language. What are the features? Why Python is very, very popular in industry. Some technical aspects we discussed yesterday about the Python programming language. So today we begin with the very first topic of this Python programming language. So that is Python tokens. Any programming language, we should start learning from the tokens, guys. Okay, we should start learning from this concept. It may be Java, it may be C or any other language. So first topic in any programming language, it should be tokens, right? Python tokens is our concept. So what are these tokens in any programming language, not only Python? I hope you guys have some idea. Python tokens is the topic for today. I will give some brief idea on this tokens, Python tokens, right? What are Python tokens? So the smallest individual units of a program is called a token, guys. Any programming language. The smallest individual units of that programming language is called as a token. Because you should start learning from the very small units of the programming language. Am I right? The very basic units of that programming language. So in Python also, yes, nice. Somebody answered. Very good. Yeah, let me just give the definition. The smallest individual units of a program, that is called as a token, guys. The smallest individual units of a program is called a token. So in Python language, how many types of tokens are there? Does anybody? Python tokens. How many types of tokens are there in Python, guys? If you take any Python program, right, you can identify only these type of tokens, guys, right? You take any Python program. Yes, 5 types. Good. Any Python program, you can find only these type of tokens, guys, right? Okay. Yeah. Good. So now let me write what are the Python tokens. Can anybody answer? First one is identifiers, because we are going to cover all these in the same order, guys. First one is identifiers. Next, keywords. Then literals, or these are also called as constants. Generally in other programming languages, those are called as the literals or constants, right? So what are the literals, guys? I think you know. This is one integer literal, 10. It is a value, right? Or 3.5. It is a float type of literal. Then within the single quotes, you enclose some characters. This is called as what? A string type literal. I'm giving you some examples. That's it. Next one is operators. Operators, guys. Then what is the fifth one? Anybody? Separators. Separators is the fifth one, guys. Right? So generally in any programming language, only these 5 are the tokens, guys. If I give you one program, in that program, you can identify these type of tokens, guys, in any program. Clear? So separators, what are the separators available in Python? Anybody? Comma separator is there. You can separate. So you can separate items in a particular list or any other sequence using comma, guys. Understood? Next one is colon. What is this colon? This colon is used for separating suits in Python. Okay, what is the suit? I will discuss. Next one is dot. What is this dot? It separates the class object name and the method name, right? To access any method in a class, we use the object. and it is used as the separator between the object reference and the method name. Understood, guys? These are called separators of this particular language. Only these 5 are the tokens of Python language. First one, identifiers. Next one is keywords, then literals, operators, and separators. These are all concepts together. We call it as the language basic concepts, guys. In any language, not only in Python, in any programming language, these units are called as programming language basics, are very fundamental concepts, right? Clear? Tokens. Actually, these tokens are generated at the time of compilation or interpretation. Understand? First step is generating these tokens, guys. Right? Okay. So let me give one example. Let me give how the tokens are generated. That will be nice, right? For example, I take any legal statement in Python, guys. X is equal to 10. In Python, data type is not at all required. So only the values have some type, guys, but variables, they do not have any type in Python. Understand? Only the values, they have some type, but the variables, they do not have any type, right? So this is a valid Python statement. Do you agree? Now, what are the tokens in this, guys? Can anybody? What are these tokens? First one is X. X is a name of a variable that falls under this category of identifier. Understand? What is X here, guys? Let me write like this. How many number of space you may give doesn't matter, guys. Okay, it will not be any error, because at the first phase in the compilation or interpretation, it removes all these white spaces, unnecessary, these extra spaces, guys. Understood? That's why if you write X equal to 10, or if you write the statement X, these spaces, everything is same. Understand? That's why to improve the readability of the code, we must use as many tabs or spaces that are required. Understood? This is one of the best practices. Now understand, guys, what is X here? X is under which category, guys? Identifier category. Because all the variables, they fall under this category, identifiers. The very next topic, the identifier, I will talk about it. No issue, no worry. This is under identifier category. Understand? What about this 10, this value 10, guys? Is it an identifier or a literal? What is it? Obviously, this is a value, right? Any value that is under literal category. Literal. Understand? So if you write a statement X equal to 10, your Python interpreter, it will generate these tokens. Each token and its type, what category it is. Like that, it will generate one ID of the token and the category of the token. Together, it is called as a lexeme. I am telling you the internal process. Okay. It will generate the lexemes. So now what about this single equal to, guys? Obviously, this is called an operator, right? This is called what? Operator. Is it clear? You write any Python statement. First step is it will remove all the white spaces and all tab spaces. Then it generates the tokens, guys. Python interpreter will generate these tokens. Understand? Any statement, the tokens are only these 5. It belongs to any one of these categories. Understand? That's what a token is. Now, what is the first token in Python language, guys? First one. First token. First token is your identifiers. Let us begin our discussion with identifiers. Right? Identifiers in Python. So in any programming language, the rules almost all same. But here, there are some rules, they are different, guys. Okay, that I will discuss every key point. Okay, I'm not going to discuss very simple and generic things. Technical aspects I will cover, right? So now, identifier rules in Python. Here, 2 things you need to understand, guys. First one is rules that you need to follow. Second one is best programming practices, guys. You want to become a professional programmer, right? Not a simple programmer. If you are learning under me, means you should become a professional programmer, right? So in this entire world, there are many experts in this Python programming. and they are developing some programs and all, right? What are the conventions followed by those experts? Those are called best programming practices. There are certain things which are called as rules. Everyone must follow it. You should not violate it. Those are called syntax rules, guys. Understand? Second thing is, what are the best practices that are followed by the experts in this particular language? Those are called best programming practices or conventions. Those two things you should learn if you want to become a professional Python programmer, right? Every concept I will cover. What are the actual rules or syntax rules, and what are the best programming practices that you should adapt? Understand? So that's how our session it goes. Now let us first start with the first topic, that is identifiers in the Python language, guys, right? Identifiers in the Python language. Now what is my question is, how the compiler or interpreter knows this is the rule in the programming language? Can anybody answer? This question is somewhat more technical. So you are saying that this is the rule for identifiers. How does it know it is a rule of this Python language? Because every programming language, it has own syntax and rules, right? How you can define the rules, guys? So that subject is called compiler design. Okay, I don't want to go into that depth. Now let us understand what is an identifier in Python. Yes, they use DFA, NFA, regular expressions. They use many things, not only regular expressions. They use actually deterministic finite automata. Yes, for these rules. Okay, right, clear. Now let me define what is an this identifier in Python, guys. Identifiers in Python. Name given into memory location. No, that is a variable. Turing machines also they use, CFG also they use. That is a different story. Yeah. So now let me define what is an identifier. An identifier is a sequence of one or more characters. An identifier is a sequence of one or more characters. One or more characters. They are used to provide a name, guys. Basically, this is a naming element. Understand? An identifier is basically a naming element, guys. So an identifier is a sequence of one or more characters. They are all used to provide a name for a given program element. Right? What are the elements of this program, guys? It may be a variable, it may be a name of a function, it may be a name of a class. Any naming element that comes under which category, guys? Identifier category. Understand? Any naming element. So here I have written something, guys. It may be a sequence of one or more characters, right? That I will give you the example why I have written this. Understood? Right? Now, they are used for naming. Basically, identifiers are used for what purpose, guys? Naming purpose. Understood? So they are used for, they are all used for what purpose? Naming. Naming for a variable, maybe a variable, naming of a variable. The definition of variable is different from other programming languages, guys. Python, I will talk when that session goes on. Name of a variable or a name of a function, name of a class or name of an object reference, whatever it may be. Any naming element, that is called as an identifier, right? But you must follow some rules to define the identifier. Understand? If you are naming a function, if you are naming a class, okay, you must follow some rules. Rules means everyone must follow it. You should not violate it. If you violate it, you will get error. That is called what type of error, guys? Syntax error. Understand? If you are violating the rules of that programming language, then you get some error. That is called as syntax error. Understand? I will show you. Yesterday, I hope you were able to install that software, right? Python IDLE. Good. Now let me write what are the rules to define an identifier in Python. Define identifiers. Right? What are the rules to define identifiers in Python, guys? First rule. There are few rules are there, just to remember. Then I discuss what are the best programming practices also. Good. Yeah. Now let me write the first rule in this. First rule of identifiers in Python, guys. First one is they may contain letters, digits, but they cannot begin with a digit, guys. Understand? So identifiers, they may contain identifiers. They may contain what? Letters and digits. Any combinations of letters and digits, guys. But what is the rule? Cannot begin with a digit. This is the rule. Cannot begin with a digit, right? Identifier, it may contain letters and digits, but it cannot begin with a digit. Understood? Now let me give one example, guys. Example. Let us take the sales value of BMW cars in India, right? BMW cars in India. Triple Chevron. What is this, guys? Python shell script prompt, right? So for example, I want to represent the sales value of 2016, year 2016 BMW cars. Okay. How do I represent the value of the sales in our computer program, in Python program? Understand? If you want to represent any data item in your program, okay, you need a variable. Understand, guys? If you want to represent any value, if you want to represent any data item in the programming language, then you must use a variable, right? Let me define. Variable should be meaningful, guys. Instead of writing XYZ, what I will do is sales 2016. I write like this. You know how many cars were sold? Around 6,000 cars were sold, BMW cars in 2016, guys. Understood? Now you see here, this is one rule, guys. Left hand side of this particular operator, this assignment operator, this is a variable, right? You can see here, there are some letters and there are digits, right? This particular variable, it is a combination of, it contains letters and digits, but it is not beginning with a digit, so that it is legal. That means it is a valid Python statement, guys. Understood? So right side value, that will be assigned to the left side variable. Clear? Good. Is there any error? Right? There is no syntax error here. Good. Any doubt? Excellent. Now what I will do is 2016 sales. I use this variable name is equal to 6,000. Now, is it a valid statement, guys? Now tell me, is it valid in Python? No. Yes. No. Because you see, this is beginning with a digit, right? What is the rule here? Identifiers may contain letters and digits, but it cannot begin with a digit. But here, this variable name, it is beginning with a digit, right? That's why here it is a syntax error. What is this error, guys? Can you guess? I will show this practically. Here you will get syntax error. Syntax error, guys. You will get the syntax error. What is the syntax error? Invalid syntax. That's it. Syntax error. What is the syntax error, guys? Invalid syntax. This is the error. Good. So your Python interpreter is saying that you are violating the rules of this programming language, so that it is not according to the syntax rules of Python. Understand? Then the question is, how does this know? How does your Python interpreter know that this is not according to the rules of the language? Understand? Internally, when they were developing that interpreter, they use these rules, guys. Understand? By using the DFA, regular expressions and all. Understood? So what is the rule for this one? This may contain any combinations of letters and digits, but it should not begin with a digit. That is the rule. Then how do you implement this rule for Python interpreter? Using the regular expressions. Okay. That subject is different. That is called compiler design, guys. Okay. Now let me check it. Yesterday, I think you have installed Python. So just you type Python here, guys. So now you can see Python IDLE. Now you type here Python IDLE. So for all these core and advanced Python concepts, I will use Python IDLE. Jupyter is not recommended for learning this core and advanced. Okay. When you are learning the scope of the variables and all, you will get some type of problem, guys. That's why. Okay, because entire Jupyter notebook will be only in single scope, right? That's why we should not use it. That's why I recommend you to use this one, right? Python IDLE, type Python IDLE. I think that is already there here. Installed or not? Yeah. IDLE of Python. You can see if you want to search it, you search here IDLE Python. So you will get this icon IDLE. Click on this. Click on IDLE Python, guys. Okay. You see here, there is a triple greater than symbol, right? This is called Python shell prompt, guys. What is the shell prompt? You can execute any Python statement on this shell prompt, guys, at this shell prompt. Yeah. So shell prompt is very interactive. You type one statement, press enter, immediately you will get what is the output of the statement. That is called interactive, very interactive. You can see what is the effect of each statement. Understood? What is the effect of each statement immediately. So at that particular scenario, you can use this one. But if you want to write 10 lines of code, right, then you cannot use this one. Understand? If you want to write more lines of code, then use the editor. Go to the file menu, click on new, then you can write the program. But I want to see immediate effect of the statement, right? That's why I am using the shell, Python shell. Understood? Okay. So now let me write the same statement, guys. Sales 2016 is equal to 6,000, right? Press enter, no error, right? Now I will use 2016 sales, guys, is equal to 6,000. Press enter. What is the error, guys? You see where it is marking 2016. You are getting this red color, right? Because here is the syntax error. That's why. Because there is a pattern it should follow. And your Python interpreter, it starts scanning. Actual interpreter will start scanning each character from left to right, guys. When it is scanning, it encountered this one. And according to the rules, it is violating, right? That's why invalid decimal or literal. It is showing some syntax error, right? All of you clear? This is not a valid identifier. So identifier may contain letters and digits, but it should not begin with a digit, guys. This is the first rule. Any doubt? Good. Actually, they have some special purpose. That's why we should not use like this. Identifiers may contain letters and digits, but they cannot begin with a digit. This is the first rule of Python identifiers. Good. Let me copy this one because I'm going to share it, right? It should be very clear. I will copy this same message, guys. I don't want to do anything of my own. Yeah, syntax error, right? You will be very clear with this when you refer these notes, right? Good. Next, what is the second rule? Second rule for this identifiers, guys. So you can use only one special character in identifiers of Python, guys. That is underscore. You cannot use any other character in the identifier. What is a character, guys? Can anybody? Every key on the keyboard, it represents one character. Understand? You have a keyboard, right? On your keyboard, you have different keys, right? Every key represents one character, guys. Every key. It may be space, enter, anything, control, shift. Every key on your keyboard, it represents a character. It may be printable character, it may be non-printable character. For example, if I press enter, it is non-printable. If I press the A or B, that is printable. You have printable character, non-printable character. But every key on the keyboard, it is a character, guys. It represents one character. Understood? Now tell me, what is the rule? So the underscore is the only allowed special symbol, guys. The underscore character is underscore character. I hope all of you know. This one is called underscore character, right? Is also allowed. Not only letters and digits, this is also allowed, guys. And this is only the allowed one, right? What purpose? So if you have multi-word identifier, understand, if an identifier consists of more than one word, to separate those words, we use the underscore, guys. Why? It improves the readability, right? Because always identifiers should be meaningful. Understand? Always the identifiers should be meaningful, so that if the identifier consists of more than one word, To separate those words, we use this special character called underscore, guys. That is the purpose. Understand? Except this, nothing is allowed. Except even dollar also not allowed. Many other programming languages, dollar is also allowed, but here it is not allowed. Okay? So what purpose we are using? Readability. To aid the readability of long identifier names or multi-word identifiers. Long identifier name, right? So I can say that multi-word identifier. This is also called as multi-word identifier. Multi-word identifiers to connect the words. We use this one. Yes. So understand, guys, as a programmer, what is your goal? You know, Python shell script, no need to install, guys. If you install that, you will get it right directly. So understand, guys, what is the goal of a professional programmer? Your logic should be very simple. But why? Because you will be working on a project. Later on, you may leave the organization. Someone will join there, right? So he should understand that code, right? That's why code readability is very, very important, guys. You should write very simple logics. You should use comments and all, right? That's why code readability is very, very important. So that's why you must follow some very good programming conventions also, right? Let me take one example. Let me give this more meaningful name. I want to define, guys. Sales for the year 2016 is equal to 6,000, right? Now it is more readable. It's more meaningful, right? Sales 2016,000. That's also fine. But if I define a variable like sales underscore for underscore 2016, it consists of three, right? Three individual these words. So that's why I'm using this underscore, right? Now it is more meaningful name, right? So for this purpose, we use this particular underscore. Except that underscore, you should not use anything. Now let me check it whether it is valid or not. Sales for the year 2016 is equal to what? 6,000. Any error? No error. Yes. Sales for 6,000. It's not changed. This is the problem, guys. If you want to type 10 lines of code, if you want to go back and modify the code, it's not possible. That's why to write programs, we don't use this shell. Understood? Good. This is the second rule. What is the next rule, guys? Now underscore, it has something special I will discuss. What is this rule is? So in Python programming language, identifiers beginning with underscore, they have special meaning, guys. Understand? Identifiers beginning with the underscore, they have some special meaning. Okay. So what are those type of identifiers? Let me talk about it. Identifiers beginning with an underscore, they have special meaning in Python, guys. Special meaning, right? In Python. What are those variables? Let me talk about it. Yes. First one, a variable that is beginning with a single underscore, that is called protected variable, guys. Understand? For example, underscore x. What is x here? X is a variable. So that is beginning with one single underscore, right? Right? Any number of underscore you can use. Even if you wish, you can use an underscore itself is a identifier. I will talk about it. No issue. So now you see, what is this variable, guys? This convention is used for protected variables. This comes under access modifiers, guys. Protected, private, these are called access modifiers. We will be discussing these concepts in OOPS. Okay. So any variable that is defined like this, underscore x. In Python, there is no variable declaration, guys. It is wrong term. Only we have variable definition. There is no declaration. Understand? If you define any variable beginning with underscore, right? That variable is a protected variable. Protected is one type of access modifier in Python, guys. Understood? Yes. So if you have one superclass and there is a subclass, okay. If you define a variable as protected in the superclass, you can access that variable only in the immediate next subclass only. Okay. Anyway, don't go into details. We'll learn later. If any variable that is beginning with double underscore, guys, this is called strictly private or a private variable. So actually, some others, they refer this as private variable, and this is strictly private variable. But we can use this. Protected is more meaningful, and this is called private. If a variable is private, you cannot access that variable from outside of the class. This is also important interview question, guys. What are the different access modifiers and all? Now, third important one is underscore underscore, beginning with underscore underscore and ending with underscore underscore, guys. These type of variables are called language specific identifiers, guys. Language specific identifiers. Understood? So these are called dunder variables and dunder methods. Okay. So variable that is beginning with underscore, ending with double underscore. So this is called a language specific identifier. Okay. So those are called dunder variables and dunder methods, guys. Dunder variables and dunder methods. For example, in Python, you have one dunder variable, underscore underscore name underscore underscore. This is one underscore underscore add underscore underscore. This is a method. First one is a variable, guys. So that is called a dunder variable. So for example, when you are working and you are referring the Python documentation, if we encounter this type of variables, right, you must understand that that is language specific. Okay. So this is one variable, guys. This is called dunder variable. So this is a method, guys. This is called magical method in Python. Okay. This is called dunder method and this is called dunder variable. Understood? Yes. This is about underscore, guys. You can define anonymous variables, unnamed variables using the underscore, guys. Let me write it. Unnamed variables. Unnamed variables, guys. For example, you want to define a variable without any name because the variable name doesn't matter. In some programming scenarios, the variable doesn't matter, guys, whatever you take. Understand? The name doesn't matter. Generally, in for loops, that type of scenario we can see, right? What are unnamed variables? For example, let me write single underscore only is equal to 999. Is it valid identifier or not? You can see. This is a valid identifier, guys. No doubt at all. Single underscore, this is a valid one, right? So this is called unnamed variable. There is no name for this variable, right? Okay. And this is a valid one because underscore is allowed, right? Underscore is allowed. Otherwise, you can do one thing. Double underscore also you can give. Is it valid or not? This is perfectly, this is also valid, guys. Triple underscore, any number of underscore, everything is valid. Understood? Now, how to use this? Directly, you can use it in any statement. For example, I will use print underscore. Perfectly valid. It will do that. You will get the output 999. That's it. Understood, guys? What are unnamed variables? Clear? Protected private, that we will see, guys, in OOPS concepts. Don't worry. I will cover each and every concept. Now, let me just check it. I am defining. This is called variable definition, right? Not declaration. Without assigning a value, you cannot use any variable, guys, in Python. Okay. Now, just I want to use it in a statement, print statement. Just I will use this. Right. Okay. 999. That's it. That means unnamed variables also valid in Python. Do you agree? Yes. I hope it's clear. So that is about how the underscore is used in Python identifiers, guys. I hope this is clear now. Now, what is the third rule? Third rule, I think this is very well known to all of you. Space character is allowed or not allowed, guys? In any programming language, space character is not allowed in identifier. Why? Can anybody say the reason, guys? There is a technical reason in that. Why all programming languages they don't do they not like space character? Like spaces are not allowed as part of the identifier, guys. Spaces are not allowed as part of an identifier, right? For example, let me take some example, guys. Total sales of a BMW company. I want to represent that. Can I use this? Total sales is 6,000. No, you cannot use this because you can see there is a space, right? Space between these two words. It is a multi-word identifier, but you cannot use space, right? Because it's not allowed. You know what happens internally, Python interpreter, when a space is encountered, right? Immediately it will generate the token. Token separator, guys. Space is a token separator rule for Python interpreter. That's why, but you want to take it as a single identifier, right? But if you are using space, what happens? It treats that total is a different token, sales is a different token. Understand? That's why spaces are not allowed in any programming language, guys. Because if you are using space means what? You are saying that it is a separate token. So now tell me, sales equal to 6,000. That is valid. But what about this total? Understood, guys? Why spaces are not allowed? Because if you use the space, this one it treats as a separate token, and this one is a separate token, right? Then it is not meaningful. It's not meaningful. Understand? Now let me give you the example, guys. What I will do is total base sales is equal to 6,000, guys. Right? What is this syntax error? Where you are getting, you can see after this space, immediately you are getting the error. I told you, right? You see, after the space, it is marking as red. You are getting the syntax error after the space. Understood? That's what the rule they have defined. What is the output of this one, guys? You have the syntax error. That's it. Invalid syntax. That's why don't use the spaces, guys. Within that identifier, don't use any space. Understood? Next one is identifiers are case sensitive, guys. In some programming languages, they allow this any type of use uppercase or lowercase. So identifiers, they are all case sensitive. Case sensitive, guys. They are all case sensitive. So let me take, so for example, I define one identifier like tax rate. Tax rate. Yes, this is a valid identifier because it consists of only letters. Okay, that is a valid identifier, no doubt. Now I define another identifier, tax rate. Tax rate, guys. Both are same or different identifiers. Tell me, guys. So identifiers are case sensitive, right? That's why they are treated as different. Understood? Distinct. This one is different and this one is different, guys. It is, there are two different identifiers now we have. Understood? Because it is a case sensitive language. All are in lowercase, all are in this is in you can see sentence case like that. Okay, let me take one more, tax rate. All are in lowercase. This is also a different identifier, right? They're all treated as five different identifiers, guys. Understood? Are different identifiers, guys. Any doubt? Yes. Now I will give one simple example. Now you must answer, guys. What will be the output? Right? What will be the output? You need to answer. Now I am defining a variable, guys. X is equal to 10. Right? Now I am using print of X, guys. What will be output? Anybody guess? What is the output for this code? X is equal to 10. X equal to 10. What will be the output, guys? Somebody answered 10. Excellent. Some guys answered error. Okay. Somebody null. Good. Very good answers. Okay. Yeah, guys, this is an error. Why this is an error? You can analyze. It's important. Code analysis also important. Because you see, lowercase, uppercase letters, they are distinct, right? Distinct. So here I defined a variable X. I have defined a variable X, right? You are assigning a value to the variable, right? That is called defining a variable. Variable definition. That is called variable definition. If you assign a value to the variable, right? That is a variable definition. If you write body of a function, right? That is function definition. Understood, guys? X is equal to 10, right? You are defining a variable, but what is the variable, guys? Uppercase or lowercase x? Lowercase x only, right? Now I am using the print statement to print the value, but within the print statement, I am using lowercase or uppercase, guys. Check it. Lowercase or uppercase. I am using uppercase. But is there any variable I defined with capital X? No. Are you clear, guys? No. Obviously, we'll get error. What is the error you see? Name error. So these errors also you should understand, because when you are working with Python programs, you should be able to debug the code. Here you are getting name error. In your program, when you encounter this name error, that means the variable is not defined. That's it. Blindly you can remember. If you can find, you get this error like name error, that means you have not defined the variable and you used it in some expression. That's it. You have used it in some expression, right? What is the error? Name error. Name x is not defined. Did you mean small x? You see how intelligent it is. Mr. Programmer, you are printing this capital X. Did you mean that small x? By mistake, you have typed capital X. That's what it is asking, guys. Right? So that you may be alert. Right? Any doubt? That's what the Python. Right? That's it. This is the name error, guys. Hope clear? This is another rule. That's why you must be very careful. Next one is no identifier can be same name as Python keyword, guys. Next topic will be Python keywords. I will be talking. Keywords means there are certain words whose meaning is already known to the interpreter, guys. Understand? They have some special functionality. They have some special meaning in the programming language, guys. So they have some well-defined meaning as well as functionality. And those words meaning is already known to the Python interpreter. Those are called keywords or reserved words in Python language, guys. Okay. There are around 33 keywords in Python. So those keywords you should not use as a name of a variable or as an identifier, right? This is also very important rule, guys. This is also very important rule. No identifier can be the same name as one of the Python's keyword, guys. Python's keywords. That's it. For example, let me first execute that code and I will copy the output, guys. Every concept should be practically, you should learn, guys. You should analyze the code. Code analysis also important, guys. What the companies do, you know, there is a coding round like 1 hour or something. In that, they will give you the code snippets, guys. They will ask you what will be the output. In fact, in my interview at L&T, it is a 1 hour coding round. First 15 to 20 minutes, they asked these scenario-based questions, guys. They have given these code snippets. They asked what would be the output. And they started asking, if I remove this statement, what happens? If I add this, what happens? Like that, they have asked first half an hour, only this scenario. That means how good you are in the programming concepts and all. They use it to check it, right? After that, they have given the coding problems. That's why I'm explaining each and every technical concept in this. Okay. Now you should focus on this session, right? Let me take one example. DEF is equal to, you can see that that is in different color, right? Def is in different color. So because this is an identifier, Python interpreter knows that this is an identifier, this is a keyword. Understood? So if you are assigning a value to this keyword, what is the error? You check it, guys. What is the error? Invalid syntax. Invalid syntax. Why? Def is one of the keyword and you want to use this as a variable name. Then what your Python interpreter will think, you are trying to change the meaning of def keyword. Understood? Every keyboard, it has some meaning, some functionality, some significance, right? If you are assigning some value to that one, that means you are trying to change that particular functionality or meaning. It is wrong. You should not do, right? That's why it is showing the error, guys. What is the error? Invalid syntax error, guys. Understood? Now the question is, then how would we know, sir, which are the keywords in this? That is the next topic, guys. That is the second token, right? Sorry, second Python token, right? That we will discuss in the session. I hope you are clear. Let me write the triple chevron. That would be fine. Yes. Okay. Next. Now let us see. What is the next rule, guys? These are all rules, guys. You must follow. You should not violate. Then now I will tell you one thing. Is it a rule or not? You should tell, guys. Rules and guidelines are different, guys. Is there any difference between rule and guideline? Anybody? Can you answer? Yes, there is a difference, guys. Rule and guidelines. In hoops concepts also, I will use this terminology. Understand, guys? Okay. For example, you can see there is one red color, some caution. Do not smoke in public, right? Is it a rule or guideline, guys? Rule or guidelines? That is a rule. You should follow. Other, you should not violate. Otherwise, you will be punished like that. Okay, clear? But keep your premises very clean. Is it a rule or guideline? That is a guideline. If you wish, you can follow. That depends on your common sense, right? Yeah. So like that, all these are rules you must follow. If you don't follow, you will get syntax error. That's it. But there is one thing I will talk right now. What is the size of length of the identifier, guys? What is the restriction on the length? Can anybody? So actually for Python, there is no restriction on the length of the variable, guys. Identifier can be of any length. Identifiers can be of any length. There is no restriction, right? But here we should follow the best programming practices or conventions, guys. That's what I told you. There are some rules you must follow. There are some best programming practices you should adopt, guys. There is no rule how many characters in the identifier, right? So, but what is the best programming practice, guys? You should not use very lengthy identifier names, because why we use identifiers? To name a variable or class or object reference, right? Those we use in our expressions, right? In our Python programming, we use those in our expressions, in some statements and all, right? If you use very lengthy identifier name, right, it automatically decreases the readability and all, and that is not good, right? That's why it is not recommended to use very lengthy names, guys. Understand? Identifier can be of any length. There is no restriction. But it is not recommended. It is not recommended to use very lengthy identifier names, because it unnecessarily increases the complexity, right? Right? You should not make any complexity, guys. Anything complex. Lengthy identifiers you should not use. Clear? This is not a rule. That's what I'm saying. It's not a rule. This is one of the best programming practices adapted by top programmers, guys. Why we should not use? It increases unnecessary complexity, right? It increases the complexity to the programmer. It unnecessarily increases the complexity. It unnecessarily increases the complexity to the programmer, because as a programmer you need to type those variables and all, right? You need to type those variables in some statements or in some expressions. That unnecessarily increases the complexity, right? If you are using lengthy identifier name, there is more likely to commit mistakes, right? And the expression also, it is not readable if you are using very lengthy identifiers and all. Good. So then what is our best programming practice, guys? Identifier should be meaningful as well as short enough. Understand? This is not the identifier rule. This is the convention or a guideline. Okay. Identifier should be short enough. Identifier should be short enough and meaningful, guys. Meaningful. Now tell me, now you have understood what is the difference between the rules and guidelines, guys. Every programming language, not only in Python, guys, you have the rules as well as the set of guidelines, guys. Okay. If you want to become a professional programmer, programmers and professional programmers, is there any difference, guys? Yeah, there is a difference. So anyone may write code, guys, but professional programmers, they write code with standard and all. They follow all the best programming practices and all, right? So you try to become a professional programmer, adapt these conventions and all, guys. So this is about the first token in Python programming language, guys. What is this? Identifier concept. Just I will quickly revise this one, what we talked, so that it will be very clear. So an identifier is a sequence of one or more characters. I told you, right? One or more. Why I am saying one or more? You see, how many characters are there? Only one character, right? One character. I am not saying one alphabet or something. Okay. So an identifier is a sequence of one or more characters used to provide a name for programming element. This is basically a naming element. So that may be name of a variable or name of an identifier, name of a class, object reference, or it could be anything, right? So what are the rules, guys? First rule is it may contain letters and digits, but it cannot begin with a digit. Just remember simple points. It cannot begin with a digit. That's it. Understand? You should not by heart it, guys. Understand the concept. Very important. So this is the example. Just you refer the example, you will get very clear idea. So if I define like this variable, you will get this error, invalid decimal literal, right? Actually, it thinks that any particular programming element beginning with digit, right? That means it thinks that you are defining one digit or some value, right? That's why it is showing that invalid decimal literal. Okay. Next, underscore, you can use this one for multi-word identifier. That's the simple second rule. Third one is, yeah, these conventions you should understand, guys. Later on, they are very useful to you. Okay. Single underscore beginning with one underscore, that is protected. Beginning with two underscore private. Beginning and ending with double underscore language specific. So these are called Donder variables and Donder methods. Beginning with double underscore, ending with double underscore, those are called Donder variables and Donder methods. Understood? Anonymous variables, those are also valid. You can define like that. Next, spaces are not allowed, guys. Space is a separator of the tokens, guys. Actually, internally, your interpreter uses space to separate the tokens in the statement. Understand? That's why it's not used. You will get syntax error. Next, they are all case sensitive. That's why you should be very careful when you are using this. Same name, right? So you can see here, lowercase, uppercase, sentence case, all are different. They are all treated as different, right? Next one. So no identifier can be same as one of the keyword. What are those keywords? Tomorrow session, I think tomorrow there is no session, guys. Saturday, Sunday, week off you have. From Monday to Friday, you have the session. It is around 1 hour to 1.5 hours, right? I will try to finish it. Weekends, we have other assignments and schedules. Next, last one is, this is not the rule in Python, guys. This is not the rule of identifier, Python identifier. This is a convention, right? This is one of the best programming practices you should adopt, guys. Okay. So identifier should be meaningful, as well as at the same time, it should be short enough. Short enough and meaningful names you should use in your naming. Understood? Right. So this is about what are the identifiers in Python language, guys. I hope this session is clear. Now we are going to talk about this remaining in the coming sessions. Understood? So that's about